Welcome to the Vault Podcast and Reviews, where music still matters. You can check out everything we're doing at facebook.com/thevaultrvws, youtube.com/c/the Vault Reviews. We're on Stitcher, at the Vault Music 1 for Twitter, at the Vault Reviews on Instagram, and send us anything you feel like sending us, thevaultmusic1@gmail.com. We got Robbie D back again to review another album with us. And once again, check us out on iTunes. You know, we're still fairly new on there. Make sure you subscribe, rate, and review on there. That'll help us get up the iTunes podcast charts, hopefully, and get into more people's ear holes. So today we're going to be reviewing Mournful Cries by Saint Vitus, 1988 release. And the reason that we've got Robbie in here, who's Mr. Hip Hop, is because I sent a clip of one of these songs to him, and he's like, "This may be my new favorite genre." So, what was your initial impressions of the album?
Man, it was a real good album. It's it's like I said, this isn't something I listen to a whole lot, so this album review was a little bit tough for me to do. But I really enjoyed the album. It was real slow in parts, so I did kind of find myself like not paying attention sometimes. You know, it kind of lost me.
Getting lost in it, yeah. I think that's the whole idea.
True. I guess so. And that, like in the middle of a 7-minute song. But
a 7-minute song that's so long that it feels, or so slow that it feels like it's 15.
That's for sure, man. That's for sure. The whole album feels like, it's like a 2-hour album and there's like 6 songs.
Yep. That is doom metal.
Yeah, it was good though. I enjoyed it. Yeah, for sure.
Opening track, The Creeps, solid opening track, a little bit faster than some of the stuff they do. Robbie, I know you're not super familiar with them, but they're usually the slower stuff. This one's pretty up-paced for them. Next one, Dragon Time. Classic Vitus. You might wonder why I'm going track by tracks, because there's only 6 tracks. What do you have anything you want to say on those first 2 songs?
I like Dragon Time a lot. The name, I was like, Dragon Time, that sounds like a sweet song, and it was. I wasn't disappointed.
So next up, we've got Shooting Gallery, and talk about slow. And the cool, like the opening little guitar part squealing and so slow. It's perfect. I mean,
it was so slow. And that was the one you actually showed me the first time Shooting Gallery was.
Right.
The lyrics in this song are real dark.
Oh, of course.
Real dark. But I guess, it's doom, so I guess that's kind of what you expect out of it. But it was good. It was a little creepy even. Like just what they're talking about. It was good.
This is what I like to call a downer song. And I love downer songs. And what I mean by that is it's just kind of a phrase that I just made up on some of these songs. You kind of get your little keywords. Everybody likes to throw their keywords around on certain songs, the way it makes them feel or whatever. Typo Negative does this all the time too. And this song specifically, it's like, no matter what kind of a mood you're in, this is going to make you into a downer mood.
Yep. Especially when they're talking about shooting up heroin and like people are dying and stuff.
Hey, it's real stuff though,
Hey, no, absolutely is. Absolutely.
Which kind of contradicts a little bit the cover art. I want to touch on that real quick. It's got this cool, this picture of like this Hydra dragon thing. And one thing I always love about Saint Vitus albums is usually the background is always a base color. So it'll be like a pink or a blue or something like that. But then they've got this like super dark image on it. I love it.
Yeah, that's got like a 4-headed dragon and there's stuff in the clouds. I mean, it's definitely awesome.
And then everything around is blue and yellow.
Yep.
that's just
soft
awesome.
Colors.
All right, next up, Bitter Truth. Just more classic Vitus. Again, great solo on that. And one thing I want to touch too, Robbie, I know you're probably not as familiar with this as I am, but it seems like a lot of people like to, trash some of the guitar playing on here. I think Dave Chandler's stuff is awesome. Like, I don't care. Like, he may not be like Yngwie Malmsteen, but I don't care. Like, his tones and his style and the way he goes about everything playing wise is fantastic. It matches everything about Saint Vitus. It's perfect. And do you want to touch on the guitar playing? You have any thoughts?
Yeah, actually, Bitter Truth was one of my 2 favorite songs on this one. This one and the next one, The Troll, were my 2 favorites off the album. The lyrics in this one are awesome too. I mean, lyrically, they're an awesome band, that's for sure. Had
That's
a great.
cool that's cool that you picked that up. I mean, and we'll touch on that in a minute because I have some thoughts on the lyrics. But
Right.
that's not one thing that a lot of people I talk to like Saint Vitus think of. So
Really? Well, I mean, the dude's a great writer. Had an awesome groove to it. It kind of gets you in the zone. That was one of my favorite ones. Was Bitter Truth. So
next up, my favorite, and you just said it was your favorite, The Troll. And here's what I wanted to talk about the lyrics. I mean, of course, this is a slow song again. It rocks. It's got awesome riffs. But I can really relate to these lyrics.
This is a great song, and I thought this one was a little bit more fast-paced feeling than the rest of the album, at least.
Some of it, yeah. I mean, it's still slow, though.
Oh, yeah, the whole album's slow. But this, compared to the rest ones, I thought this was a little bit faster-paced. Again, great
So
lyrics.
what'd you think of these lyrics? Yeah.
All their lyrics are awesome. This one I didn't really relate with as much, but I did like it.
You don't like being a troll and hiding and being a hermit? That's what I love to do.
Like a troll, pay the troll toll.
This is one of my probably top 10 all-time Saint Vitus songs in general. And for not being a lyric guy, like I remember hearing this the first time and catching some of the lyrics. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. So I would then go back and try to purposely listen to the lyrics. I was like, this rules. I can really relate to this, and that's sad.
That's sad. I mean, like I said, I wasn't expecting it to be lyrically a great album. Like, I guess what I was expecting was just to be listening to guitar riffs and stuff like that. Bass lines. I love how prominent the bass is in this music. Overall it was pretty good.
Last track, Looking Glass. Just, great song to close with. So that's pretty much it as far as the album. 6 tracks. Woo!
Right? It's super short, like I said, but it's still like 2 hours long. So, I mean, you still get plenty of listening time, even though it's only 6 tracks.
Oh, but it wasn't long enough. And that's my only complaint that we'll get to in a minute. Let's touch on the vocals. Wino. Anything this guy touches is gold. Like any band he's ever been in. The lyrics are surprisingly good. For me, not being a lyric guy, I tend to pick up on them, time to time. What do you think of Wino? Because I know you're not super familiar with him, just as a vocalist.
He's a great vocalist. He's a great guitar player too. You showed me some of his other bands, and like you said, I mean, everything he's in was awesome. You sent me like a list of things, and I was like, well, I really like this. And what was the other one?
There was like 7 bands. Yeah, I sent you so much stuff.
Spirit Caravan. But anyway, like the 2 that I picked, you were like, you like him because Wino's in it, and he's amazing. Yep. Yeah, he's definitely a badass.
So I'll get your opinion on this too, because again, you're not super familiar with the genre. Isn't it kind of refreshing to hear someone actually singing over pretty heavy music?
Yeah, instead of just like growling and screaming. It definitely is refreshing, especially when they have good lyrics, like what they're saying is, intriguing for the most part.
And the other thing that I noticed on this is like the music is super heavy, but they don't have that guitar tone that you would think of in typical metal. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely agree.
What negatives do you have about this, if any?
Really, the only negative I had was some of it's a little bit too slow for me. Like I said, I found myself not paying attention in spots, just kind of like, thinking about other things. But for the most part, I really liked it. That's really the only complaint that I have.
And like we said, that may be by design.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I can tell you there's been some songs. I know one of the first artists that comes to mind is Bong Ripper. Yeah. And I can't remember the song, but I remember I was listening to it, and I kind of forgot where I was.
Yeah, maybe that is the point,
And I was on no substance whatsoever. Right. So my only negative is just, I wanted more songs. 6 tracks is just not enough for me, even though it's really slow. I don't care if the album would be like 3 hours long and really, really slow. More tracks, please. But I think that's just because I'm a huge Wino and Saint Vitus fan. So anything else you want to touch on before we jump into the rating?
No, man, I think we touched on most everything.
All right, 1 star being the worst, 5 stars being the best. What do you give it?
I gave it a 2.5, so 2.5.
Wow, that's like super low.
Like I said, man, I mean, I really dug most of the guitar riffs and, like some of the lyrics, but I wasn't really feeling this one.
Is it too slow for you?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the only thing that was kind of, like I said, it was a little bit too slow for me. I think that's about it.
Well, then it'll maybe average out then, because I'm going to give it a 4.5. And the only reason that I'm not going to give it anything higher is because of how 6 tracks. So 3.5, yeah, not too bad, not too bad. And especially that means it's I know a lot of people probably listening to us. If you're a Saint Vitus fan or a Doom fan, you're probably you think that's blasphemy or something, giving it a 3.5. But I think that's a pretty good. I mean, seeing as how you're not used to a lot of this style. And I mean, this is probably the first actual Doom band you checked out, huh?
Yeah, it absolutely is. This is definitely the first Doom album I've ever listened to from beginning to end. So
yeah, so if you like it, you're gonna have to get used to it because there's some they're even slower.
No, yeah, really slower than that. That's pretty slow.
Yeah, like snail pace, and we'll get to those at some point. But once again, guys, check out everything on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Check us out on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube. Subscribe, rate, review. That'll help us out a ton. And hopefully we'll have some merch ideas coming up. We just got a lot of cool stuff in the works, but to get a lot of that stuff going, we're going to need everybody to continue to spread the word and support, like, comment, share anything you see on social media. So until the next review, see you later.